Okay, good evening from me. We're Kufyud Beis. We're finishing today, Bez Hashem Masechta Sanhedrin. We're Kufyud Beis, Amid Beis. We're about two dots, about three-quarters of the way up. I'm Rav Chisda. It said Trumas Yirkavu. It said Truma has to go ahead and rat. However, Maisa Sheni and Kisa and Kaidesh Yignazu, put in a Geniza. Amrav Chisda, Lo Shanu that the Truma rats, el Truma biyad Yisrael. If it's handed to the Jew and he didn't give it to the Kohen yet, Aval Truma biyad Kohen, once it's in the hand of the Kohen, Kimin demamaynahu tisaref. In other words, the shayla over here, fellas, is anything in the Ernidachas is getting burnt. But if it has a certain kedusha, we can't just go ahead and be ma'abed biyadayim. Therefore, that's why Trumas, that's why Ma'aser Sheni Yignozu, you put it away. That's why Truma rats, because you can't go ahead and burn it. Fred the Gemara, or not Fred the Gemara, states Rav Chisda, it has that kedusha vis-a-vis that you can't burn it before it gets to the hand of the kohen. However, once it gets to the hands of the kohen, it shines on geld. It's his money. So therefore, it's no different than any other of his possessions. And just like all his possessions are burnt, so too this is burnt as well. Maser Rabbi Yosef, Ma'aser Sheni v'kisvi hakodesh yignazu. Ma'aser Sheni v'kisvi hakodesh, you're going to go ahead and put away. Fred the Gemara, Ma'aser Sheni biyad Yisrael could Truma biyad kohen dami. Let's view it as the same. Just like Truma biyad kohen is his to eat, so to Ma'aser Sheni is to his to eat. Yet nonetheless, by Yisrael it says yignozu. So how can you? So therefore, it should be once it gets biyad kohen, you should not be able to burn it if it retains kedusha. It should be yignozu. If you want to learn Rav Chisda's din, here's the way you have to learn it. Rav Chisda, Lo Yishanu el Truma biyad kohen. When it's in the hand of the kohen, that's where you're kavu. Aval Truma biyad Yisrael tinas l'kohen shebe'ir acheres. But if it's Truma biyad Yisrael, you do not have to let it rot, since it doesn't really belong to him because he's not a kohen. He can give it to a kohen be'ir acheres. So qualifying the Mishnah, the din of the Mishnah of Truma that has to rot is when it's in the hands of the kohen. Right? In other words, we're not going to burn it. Why? Because it has innate kedusha. We're not going to burn it because it has innate kedusha. On the other hand, we will go once it comes to the hand of the Yisrael, then it's not his possession. So if it's not his possession, that's the kedusha of truma. We don't want to go to him ma'abed it, so we'll give it away. You don't have to go ahead and get rid of it. Okay, Baruch, we're Kufyud Beis on the Beis. We're about 10 lines up, 12 lines up. Tanan Hasan. Isa shel Ma'aser Sheni Petur min achala. I was mafish challah, guys, on the matzah today. It was geschmack. I was mafish challah on the matzah. All the challah together, I was mafish the challah on the matzah, first time in my life. Anyway, so you have Isa shel Ma'aser Sheni Petur min achala. It's pata from challah. Divrei Meya. You know why? Because Meya holds Ma'aser Sheni is mom and gavoa. Ma'aser Sheni is mom and gavoa. Machlekes throughout Shas. What Rabbi says it's mom and gavoya, but you could eat it, and Yehuda says no. Rabbi Yehuda says it's mamash your money, so you could even mekadesh nisha with it. Like Rabbi, you would not be able to mekadesh nisha with it, since it's mom and wa of gavoya. Therefore, it's pata from challah. The chachamim mechayavim be mechayev and challah in shuma of Ma'aser Sheni of Ma'aser Sheni. Amar Rav Chisda, machlekes the Rabbi and the chachamim is b'Ma'aser Sheni b'Yushalayim where you could eat it. The Meya Sava, Ma'aser Sheni, Mom and Gavayahu. And since it's Mom and Gavaya, it's Pata from Chala. Rabban and Sarvi, Mom and Hedyadhu. It's the moment of a Hedyad, and therefore it's yours. Once it's yours, it's Chayv and Chala. Aval B'Gavulin, everyone would hold B'Gavulin Divya Kol Pata. Meaning the Chachamim would hold Ma'aser Sheni in outside Yerushalayim has a din of Kedusha. And therefore what? You would not be take Chala off. It's be Mom and Gavaya. So again, qualifying it. When is this comes along the Gemara? He wants a taina that this did Machloikas and the Chachamim is only Yerushalayim proper. But outside Yerushalayim, everyone would hold its mom and gavoa, and therefore everyone would hold its pata from Chala. Mosif Rabbi Yosef, Freg Rabbi Yosef, Ma'aser Sheni, v'kisvi hakodesh yignazu. Amish state as Ma'aser Sheni, v'kisvi hakodesh, you're going to put away. Why are you going to put away? Because you can't destroy it, because it has kedusha. But my asking, and what level of Ma'aser Sheni, where is it, fellas, that we're going to put it away? Meaning, we're not going to eat it, but we're not going to burn it, right? we're not going to eat it, but we're not going to burn it. So where exactly is it at this period in time? Elaim would be Yerushalayim. If you're saying it's speaking Yerushalayim, mihave ir nidachas. Is it possible in Yerushalayim that it could become near nidachas? But Tanya, a Gemara in Masechta Baba Kama in Perik Meruba, Asora Devorim Nemru Yerushalayim. There are 10 things that says vis-a-vis Yerushalayim. V'suachas mehen that Einu Nasis ir nidachas. So therefore, obviously, it can't be ir nidach. It can't be Yerushalayim that Yignozu. Because you can't have the mitzias, because there's no Erin Idachas in Yerushalayim. So the Ma'aser Sheni can't be Yerushalayim. So where would Ma'aser Sheni have to be, guys? Be Gevulin. It would have to be what? Outside Yerushalayim. Ve'ela be'ir acheres. It must be from another city. Va'asku legava. And you brought it into Yerushalayim. So it's not from Yerushalayim proper. You brought it from another city, and you brought it into Yerushalayim. Says the Gemara, Hol kultua mechitzais. The mechitzais they literally sheltered. They've gone ahead and literally they've come into the innards of Yerushalayim. And once it comes in there, it's us to go ahead to take it out again. And also it's us to be paida. Then Cain, it's not considered what? The shalom of an Erin Idachas. Once it's there, the Yerushalayim, in other words, it protects it. So therefore, Yilachayra, it should not be Yigunzu. Once Yerushalayim gets it, comes to Yerushalayim, it should protect it that you can go ahead and I don't know if you can eat it, but you can't go ahead and put it away. So you must be able to eat it. Elalav, it must be speaking about Ma'aser Sheni Bigavulin, Vikatani Yignaisu. So in other words, it's Ma'aser Sheni that you didn't bring it to Yerushalayim. It's Ma'aser Sheni outside Yerushalayim. And now you are telling me the following, fellas, outside, guys, outside. You said Divrei Akol would say that Ma'aser Sheni outside Yerushalayim is pater from Chala because it's Kodesh. Then why in the world would Yignaizu? You should be able to go. You shouldn't have to put it away. Yignaizu means is that you have shaykhs to it, but we won't let you eat it, and we won't let you burn it because of its kedusha. But over here, you're telling me that why you don't take off challah because it has the kedusha. If it has kedusha, why are you going ahead and putting it away? You should be able to put it away. You should be able to eat it. Says the Gemara. So it's mashma that you know why you're putting it away because it's mam and hedyet. And therefore, Rav Chisda, who said that that outside Yerushalayim, L'divrei Akol, it's pater from challah, is shver from our Mishnah. Because our Mishnah is saying that, no, it's mum and hedyet. Guys, what's the right? It's mum and hedyet? Because you got to put it away. You can't eat it. In other words, you should be able to eat it if not for the fact that it was near nidachas. So therefore, why are you putting it away? You're not burning it because it has kedusha, but you should burn it. If it was kodesh, we said that what? Kochim is not b'chlal near nidachas. So the kasha is a gvaldige kasha. How can you Rav Chisda say big vulin divrei akol? It's kodesh and it's pater from Maisa. When the fact that over here from a Mishnah you see the Mishnah is speaking of Ma'aser Sheni that's outside Yerushalayim. Therefore, and yignovu. Once yignovu, it must be mam and hedyet. As I read the Gemara. It says Maloi. Ba'olam, I'll tell you the Mishnah is speaking the era cheres v'eskulu gaba. You brought it to Yerushalayim. I have a kasha. Why do you have to put it away? Right? I Yerushalayim should go ahead and be malaked and protected. It's speaking over here where you can't eat it. It's in Yerushalayim, you can't eat it because it became tameh. So even though the Yerushalayim, the walls were coiled it incorporated it. Nonetheless, you can't. You have to put it away because it's tameh. Fred the Gemara v'lifrake. Good, it's tameh. Go ahead. Be paid it, take the money, and now you have money with Kedushas Ma'aser Sheni and buy something else. How do you know Ma'aser Sheni that became Tameh? I feel Yerushalayim that you paid even in Yerushalayim. So therefore, Talmud Laimar it says Kilo Sucha Seisai V'Nasata B'Kesef V'Tzarta Kesef B'Yatcha V'Lachta Makam Sheyivcha Hashem. So Memela read the Gemara like this. Let's go, guys. The paper trail. Machloikas Rabbi and the Chachamim only in Yerushalayim, where Rabbi says you're potter from Chala and the Chachamim say you're chayiv in Chala. Says of Chista, but outside Yerushalayim, Dibya Kol is potter. Because why? Because it's Kodesh, and therefore it's Kodesh is potter from Chala. Fred the Gemara, we have a Mishnah. A Mishnah Al Korcha can't be speaking Yerushalayim. It must be speaking outside Yerushalayim. And nonetheless, it says Ignoivu. Obviously, Ignoivu because you can't eat it. Why can't you eat it? Why? Because it is Mammon Hedyet. And why? So why don't you burn it? Because it's Ma'aser Sheni. So Dachakashon of Chista. And for the Gemara, no, it's speaking in Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim, you just told me Yerushalayim. Says, no, it's Tameh. It's Tameh. So therefore, since it's Tameh, you can't eat it. What do? You put it away. For the Gemara, let's be paid it. And what do you know? You can be paid it. Shtei Rebbe Lezer, you can be paid it. Therefore, you have Kedusha in the coins, and therefore you wouldn't have to be Yignaivu. Says the Gemara, Yigonzu. And says, Leisuchal Zeisai, Vein says, El Achila. Shenemar vayusam asais by Avram by Binyamin. Me'es panav, right? They carried it away. The third grade Rebbe from Derech HaTorah would remember. They went ahead. They took the food and they carried it away. Oh, what a Rebbe! I'm such a Rebbe. I remember. You know what it's speaking, guys? Fellas outside. The original Maisa Sheni that comes to me, you could be paida. We're speaking about over here where you took the money of Ma'aser Sheni and you bought Ma'aser Sheni. In other words, you transfer it. The second level. There you can't be tamei. It doesn't have enough kedusha to be toifus. When does Rebbe Eliezer say you can be paid the Ma'aser Sheni? That's the original Ma'aser Sheni. But if it's Ma'aser Sheni that came about as a result of money being bought and making Ma'aser Sheni, therefore you can't do it. So what do? You're going to, you have to put it away. Okay? Amid Aleph. Fred the Gemara V'lifrike, so big deal. Asvos, go ahead, be pointed anyway. Ditnan, because we learned halakuach. If you buy something because of Ma'aser Sheni shenitma yipadeh, so l'chayra even the second level you could be paida, right? The second level you could be paida, not just the original, but even what you spend money on. Says the Gemara, Kid the Rabbi Yehuda, the Amar Rabbi Yehuda ihachi, the Amar Rabbi Yehuda yikaver. That money. An object, food that's bought with Ma'aser Sheni money that comes tamei, you cover, you bury it. Okay, so why aren't you burying it over here? Right? You're not burying it over here is because of the kedusha, right? Okay. In other words, as the Mishnah says, it has some kedusha. So since that's kedusha of the irni dachas l'chayra. Okay, so you bury it. Ihachi, if it's speaking about what? Guys, let's theorize. You're telling me it's Ma'aser Sheni that you took money of Ma'aser Sheni and you bought and it became tamei, and therefore you gunsu, you're putting it away. What does that have to do with Erin Dachas? That seems to be a din in Ma'aser Sheni b'chalat harakula. The reason why you're putting it away over here is because you can't eat it. Why can't you eat it? Because really, it should be burnt. But since it has kedusha, we won't burn it. Why should it be burnt? Because there's a din of Erin Dachas. But the way you're zetzing the Mishnah of Yigonzu, it's speaking about money, food stuff that was bought because of Ma'aser Sheni that became tamei that you cover in this. You cover in Yigonzu. I guess it's synonymous. So l'chayru, what does that have to do with Erin Dachas, fellas? Fred the Gemara, if that's the case, says the Gemara, if that's the case, ihachi my irya Erin Dachas afilu da'almanami, right? Afilu da'almanami. So therefore, we're stuck. What exactly pshat in the Mishnah is Ma'aser Sheni? Why in the world you gone to? Why are you going ahead and burning? Now it's a kasha of Chista. Well, not really. It's a kasha. You gone to like Rav Chista, who says that it's outside Yerushalayim, that everyone holds that what that it's kodesh. You see, it's not kodesh because you gone to Ela lo'olam b'tahar. It's speaking about Ma'aser Sheni that's tahar. Ukigoin the nafal mechitzas that the walls of Yerushalayim fell on. Rashi. It's speaking about Ma'aser Sheni of Yerni Dachas, and it's Tahar. And you brought it into Yerushalayim. Again, Yerushalayim can't be Yerni Dachas. So you're in an Yerni Dachas, you took the produce, Tahar, the Ma'aser Sheni, and you brought it up to Yerushalayim. And now, what was the kasha, guys? The walls of Yerushalayim are koilet, so therefore you should be able to eat it. The walls fell down. With the Ka'amar Lishtri Bachila, the whole Koltua Mechitzos, that was the kasha, yes. And for the Gemara, it's speaking where the walls fell down. Uchid Rava, Dama Rava, mechitza lechol deraisa. Mechitza to eat is deraisa. Likloit derabanan. V'chikas rabanan ki asin lemechitza ki les lemechitza lav. Says Rashi, Dama Rava, mechitza lechol deraisa. Men atayra mitzvah lechol lifnim. The mitzvah eats ma'aser sheni inside the walls when the walls are standing. Ava mechitza is likloit, but the mechitza is to go ahead and protect. Sheyu mechitza is koltais bein le'inyan pedia, whether you can't be poider anymore. Bein lechol inyan midrabanan. In other words, once it gets to Yerushalayim, it can't be poider. That's before. So therefore, I would say once it gets to Yerushalayim, l'inyan dining derabanan l'inyan pedia, and inyan all mili derabanan. Bechigas rabanan the tahani klitis mechitza is lamaisa the shiveni yachlev taisa uli inyan. Here's what we need. Learni dachas nami shlei hey besreifa hey chadis nu mechitza. That's when the chitzas are out. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's go, guys. Says the Mishnah outside. Let's give you the Gemara outside. Says the Gemara, Maisa Sheni is Yigunzu. What's the case of Maisa Sheni? Now we got a problem. If it's Maisa Sheni Yushalayim, it can't be in any dachas. Guys, if it's Maisa Sheni, if it's Maisa Sheni in Yushalayim, it's in any dachas. Can't be in any dachas. So it must be in any dachas outside Yerushalayim. You brought it into Yerushalayim. Got a problem. Once you're born into Yerushalayim, the walls protect you. You can't be paid to it, and you can't burn it. Right? It's not happening. Right? So we wanted to say it's speaking about it's tummy. For the Gemara, it's tummy. Then it's not a din in a dachas. It's a din b'chol kula. And for the Gemara, the maskana, according to Shitas Rava, it's speaking over here that what you brought it into Yerushalayim, and then the walls fell down. So now when we say the walls are koilet, that what you can't be poida and you can't burn it. That's when what? When the walls are standing. Once the walls are down, then in fact what? Then you could be poida, and if not for the kedusha ma'aser sheni, you would burn it. So what do? You gunzu. You go ahead and put it away. That's the ukimta. You gunzu. You're putting it away, and it's speaking by the walls were inside, and they fell down. Gishmak. Mastisan d'loy kreveli. Mishnah said kisvei kodesh yiganzu. The kisvei kodesh you're going to go ahead and put away. Says the Gemara, Mastisan d'loy kreveli yeza. Our Mishnah is not like Rebbe Eliezer. The Tanya Rebbe Eliezer Omer Kol Ir sheyesh bo afila mezuzah achas. Any city that has a fila one mezuzah ain't a nasis erni dachas. It cannot become an erni dachas. Right? How do you know the Shnemar? V'sarafta be'esh eseir v'es kol shaloy kolil, and everything in the city should be consumed. V'heichedekem mezuzah leyavsha d'chsiv loysasum ken l'shem lokechem, to destroy the name. So we're saying kisvei kodesh yiganzu. Late Rebbe Eliezer, what are you talking about? Yiganzu? It can't be in any dachas. Once you have it can't be in any dachas because that's sifei kodesh in there. So Memela, the Mishnah can't be like Rebbe Eliezer. Reb Shimon said, okay, let's see the Mishnah on this because it's a bit of an extension. Okay, on Kuf Yud Aleph Amid Beis, before the lines get wide, 3 lines up. Reb Shimon, Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu, Im atem oisim din be'erni dachas, malani alechem kilu atem ma'alim oila, kolul lefanai. Then it says, v'hoisu tel oilam, it should remain a tel oilam, it should remain a mount forever. Like sasu, you should go ahead, what? And it says, leisibona oid. You go ahead and not build it anymore. You shouldn't go ahead, what? And build it anymore. Okay, let's see what we got in the Gemara. Lema Reb Shimon Amar Kodesh Baruch Hu. I think I stopped short. Oh, I'm so sorry. I stopped short from the Ikamach Loikis. Continue the Gemara. Sorry. Continues the Mishnah. Leisasun ginus u'perdesim. You can't make the erni dachas into orchards or gardens. Rabbi Yosef Glili. Rabbi Kiva Omer leisibana oid l'kamay shahoya. You can't rebuild the city as it was. Ain't a nivnis. Aval nasas he ginus u'perdesim. Good. So guys, outside. Let's do it outside. Outside. Says the Gemara. Rabbi Yosef Glili is once you destroy it, you can't do anything with it. Forget about rebuilding the city. You can't plant an orchard. You can't plant. Says Rabbi Kiva, you could plant an orchard. Now, there were 2 dinim over here. There was an asay, v'hoya tel oilam, and there was lois asay, lois leibana oid. You shouldn't go ahead, lois leibana oid. You shouldn't build it anymore. So now here's the question. Does the lois asay define the asay or not? Guys, watch, look at my fingers. If you say v'hoyetel olam, that means that's it. Nothing. It can't be anything. It's got to be a mound. If you say leisi bani, you can't build this in a city, now you're defining what it means in a mound. A mound means it can't be a city, but it could be an orchard and it could be a garden. So the havamina of the Gemara is the following. The machloikis of Rabbi Yossi Galili that it can't be anything, and Rabbi Akiva that it could be gardens, is whether the lois asay defines the asay. If it doesn't define the asay, you can't do anything with it. It's a tel olam. That's Rabbi Yossi Galili. If, on the other hand, leisibana, you can't make it into a city. A city you can't, but you could make it wide into a gardens. That would be Rabbi Akiva. So the havamina is whether the loy defines the asay. Let's see it inside. Says the Gemara. Lema, let us say, b'derav Oven Amr Rabbi Kamifliki. Dam Rabbi Oven Amr Rabbi Kol Malkam Shata Moitze Klal Ba'asay Uprat B'Loi Sasay. Where you find the Klal Ba'asay like V'Hoyetel Olam Uprat B'Loi Sasay Loisibano Oid Ein Don Loisai B'Chal Uprat. You don't dash it as a Klal Uprat that the Loi Sasay is defining the Asay. Demar Rabbi Yossi Galil says you can't make it into anything. Islay Drebavin. And therefore, the loisi bona does not define the hoyetel oilam, and it remains a tel oilam, and you can't do anything with it. Umar and Rabbi Akiva less later abovin. And in fact, the loisase of not making it into a city does define the whole tel oilam. It can't be a tel oilam right in as a city, but it could be gardens and orchards. That would be a way of explaining the machlokas between the two. Now that you understand that, says the Gemara loy, the kol yalma is abovin. Everyone holds Rabbi Oven. Even Rabbi Yossi Galili holds Rabbi Oven. And therefore, Leisi Bana would define it. But what happens over here? Fellas, what does it say? Leisi Bana oid. So in other words, if it didn't say the word oid, everyone would say you could put an orchard there. Even Rabbi Yossi Galili. Rabbi Yossi Galili says the oid defines it. Leisibana oid, period. Right? What does that mean? Any which way, anything. And Rabbi Akiva says, no, leisibana oid as it was, as a city, but it could be an orchard, it could be, in other words, the oid is defining what you can do with it, not necessarily the fact that there's a lav, a loisase, after the assay to define the assay, as Rabbi said. Okay, says the Gemara Vaita. Eina nibis aval nasasi ginis pardesim. Tanabanan. Hayiba ilanois in the Neri Dachas there were ilanois. Tilushim, if they were disconnected, then asurim. They have a din as any other piece of metaltalin, and it's burnt. Michubarim, however, if they are attached to the ground, then what? Then they're mutter. If they're attached to the ground, they would be mutter. That you wouldn't have to go ahead and burn it. If it's attached to the ground, you would not have to go ahead and burn it. However, shalir nidachas. Okay, no. Hayaboy lana solution of asur mechubarim with asur mechubarim with tarim. Shalir nidachas bein solution bein mechubarim asa. Okay, so it says what's it speaking about? Tan Rabbanon. Let me just make sure I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Tan Rabbanon. What does he mean? Tan Rabbanon. What's the other city I was speaking about over here? Okay. Erni dachas. Ilonois solution asurim mechubarim mutarim. Shal erni dach. Shal eracheres. Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm tired. I misread it. Let's compare the most famous city that had been put in Chayrim in the history of the world. Yericho. What's the difference between Yericho and Erni Dachas? Erni Dachas would be mutta, the trees that are attached. Why? Because it says, tikboitz v'sorafta. You should gather and burn. If it's attached to the ground, there's another action you have to do. You have to first cut it, then gather it, and then burn it. So if it's just what? If it's just disattached, take bites, it's Tishrei. If it's attached, if it's mechuber, since it's missing the action of cutting, therefore be muta, that's by ir nidachas. By Yericho, even if what? It is attached, it will be asa. That's the difference. So one more time. I didn't see. Solution asurim. Why? Because you're gathering and you're burning. Mechubarim mutarim. Mechubarim would be muta. Why? Because you have to first, anything that's gathered and burnt versus you have to cut, gather, and burn. However, shel ir acheres, if it's in another city like Yericho, bein telushin bein mechubar masa. My ir acheres, what's the other city on discussion? Rav Chisda is Yericho. Tichsiv. So it says by Yericho. Now this Yeshua said. Yeshua said, "V'hoisa ir cherim hi, v'chol asher ba laHashem." Right. Everything in the city. Rak rachav azoyin tiyahi v'chol asher ita babayis. So Yeshua went ahead and said, everything is going to be destroyed. Everything is why. This is a medrash, beautiful medrash, guys. You're not allowed to have hana from Issa Shabbos. If you work, right, guys, you do work on Shabbos, you can't have enough from it, right? You cook something, big machloikas, but Yericho was destroyed in Shabbos. Since Yericho was destroyed in Shabbos, Yeshua felt that what? You can't have enough from it. Good. Another pshat is he separated it like what? Like Reishis Arisai Sechem. He said like Truma. It's the first city of all the cities that's being captured. So Memela, like Truma, he separated it like Truma. That it should be Cherim, right? It should be like, okay. So those are two pshatim. So V'yisir Cherim Hashem, V'yashba Yeshua Be'esahi Leimor, or Ish curses the man, L'fnei Hashem, Asher Yakumu Bana Esir Hazois Es Yerichai. Who rebuilds this city as Yericho. Guys, now we're going to dash in the following. Not only if he rebuilds Yericho, but even rebuilds the city and calls it Yericho. Because it shouldn't say Esir Azais. It should just say Yericho. Esir Azais means to include even a city that you're going to go ahead and call Yericho. Even a city that you're going to go ahead and call Yericho. Look at Rashi. La Yericho, no, don't, not yet. Back in the Gemara, I'm sorry. When it says with his Bechor who found it, he'll make the foundation. And with his youngest, he'll close the gates, meaning all his kids are going to die. Tanya. Lo Yericho Hashem Yeracheres. You can't call Yericho Hoboken. Lo Yeracheres Hashem Yericho. Nor what? Or Hoboken calling Yericho. It doesn't work. Jericho. It doesn't work. The Chsiv, it says, that Bona, it says, B'yomav, the day of Achov, Bona Chiel Beisa Eli, Es Yerichoi, right? Be'abiram Bechara Yista, with Abiram his Bechar he founded it, he died. Ubeskuv Tzirei Hitziv L'Laseha, Kidvar Hashem Ashadiru B'yad Yeshua Ben Nun. Now this person Chiel lived with Achov, as Masi was a friend of Achov, and he went ahead and rebuilt Yericho. But if you look at Rashi, guys, Es Yericho. V'lo Yericho, go down a little bit. V'lo Yericho atzma bana, he didn't rebuild Yericho. El ir acheretz, he rebuilt another city. Al shem Yericho, shekar lo Yericho. V'lo yisparish haminalan. And Rashi says we don't know from how we know this. In other words, you could have just as easily said that he rebuilt Yericho, correct? But he's saying he didn't rebuild Yericho. He said he rebuilt another city and called it Yericho. He rebuilt another city and called it Yericho. So this person, Chiel, we're going to meet Chiel. And we're going to see that Chiel, again, with his eldest child, he founded it, he's died, and with his youngest child. Yes, Nasan.
Which Rashi did you just do?
Es Yericho. You go down a little bit. Es Yericho. It's a small Rashi, right before the word Abiram, B'Bechoi Yestena. Where you are now, go about 20 lines down. It says Es Yericho. So Rashi, we don't know how he knows it means what? Another city called Yericho. Back in the Gemara. Tichsiv Bani Chiel Beis Ha'eli Es Yericho Be'aviram Bechara Yasta Ubeskuv Tziroi Hitziv Dolaseha. Tana Be'aviram Bechara Rasha Lehoyle Lumay. Right. So what does it say? It says he calls him a Rasha. Tanya Be'iram Bechara Rasha. With the death of Iram the Rasha, he was the Bechar of Chiel, Lechoyle Lilmoid. He didn't learn that what? That he thought that he died in his rishus, but he didn't die because he called the city Yerichai. Biskuv tziroi, however, when Skuv died, then he had a limud that what was a result of what? Of the klal of Yeshua. So again, initially, he thought that his son died because he was a Rasha. Then when his youngest son died, he realized it was why? Because of the curse of Yeshua. Avira Muskuv my Ovid, what did they do that they should die? It says, here's what it says. But Aviram B'chayrai Hoyla Lumoid Loisei Rasha. But Aviram B'chayrai, that Rasha, which Rasha Chiel should have learned. Biskuv Tziroi, right? And Skuv Tziroi, after Skuv Tziroi died, he should have realized the reason why what? Meaning, he should have realized that when Abiram died, that his son Seguv would die because of the klala. That since his eldest son died, he should have realized as a result of him rebuilding a city and calling it Yerichai. So, Abiram b'chayra hayla lumay lo'isei Rasha b'skuv tziroi. This Rasha Chiel should have learned from the actions of Abiram's death to Seguv. He should have learned to his son's death. Mimasha b'shenema b'avira b'chayra any adesh skuv tziroi. Mat hamalem skuv tziroi. Malamed shahayachiel mekaber v'hoylech me'aviram at skuv. He was constantly bearing his children, and he didn't stop. He didn't stop. He was constantly bearing his children, and he didn't stop. Achav sheshvina have. Achav was good buddies with Chiel. Asa ihu v'Eliyahu lemishal b'shloma bein Tamya. Achav and Eliyahu came, and they came to Menachem Avel Chiel on the death of his children. Yosef Amar, Achav was sitting there, and he said, Dilma ki mayat Yeshua hachilayit, right? Maybe the reason why it happened to you is because of Yeshua. Lo yericha al shem iracheres, lo yeriches al shem irichai. Good. And that's why it happened. Amalei Eliyahu in, you're right. Achav, you're in Russia, you're taka right. The reason why Chiel lost his children, because he rebuilt the city and called it Yerichai. So Amalei Achav Eliyahu, 1 second. Hashta, Livotza the Moshe loikamekaima. The curse of Moshe, your Rebbe, was not fulfilled. Dichsiv, v'sartem vartem elohim acherim, uksiv, v'choraf Hashem achem, v'atzar shemayim. If you serve avodah zarah, what's going to happen? You're going to have a famine. You're going to have a drought, right? And what happened? V'hahu gavra, me himself. He's speaking about himself. Ukim la'avodas kachavim al kol tamplem. I established an avodah zarah on each furrow. We said there wasn't one furrow in Eretz Yisrael that wasn't an avodah there. B'lei shavik lei mitra, the mezul masculate. And there's so much rain, it doesn't even give us a chance to go what and bow down to it. Levatse the Yeshua Talmida Mekaima. Pirish. Guys outside. Get the Kanti Menachem Avel. That Chiel lost what? His children. Says Chachav, maybe it happened. Why? Because you didn't listen to Yeshua and his curse. Says Eliyahu, Bistu Gerecht. You're right. The reason it happened is because why? You didn't listen. Says Achav, facetiously, 1 second. Moshe's curse didn't work. Yours worked. How do you know Moshe's curse didn't work? Because it says if you're going to go ahead and serve avodah zarah, the heavens are going to be stuffed up. And guess what? We have so much water, we can't even do the avodah zarah. That's what he said. Achav made a very, 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 very big mistake. You know what's going to happen right now. You know the end. It says now what happened. Miyad vayomer Eliyahu hatishbi hatishbi mitashave Gilad Chay Hashem Elokei Yisrael imiyet halumata boy rachmei v'chavula aglida demitra v'kam v'azel. Guys, there are 3 mafteches we know about. One of Tchias HaMesim, right? One of Geshamim, and one of Geshamim, and there's one of, and that's the third one. Birth, Geshamim, and Tchias HaMesim. What did they do? They gave Eliyahu the key to rain. Not his key, they gave him the key, meaning it's going to depend upon him. It's going to depend on him. So you, as a result of Achav, blasphemous, saying that what? You think you're sure it's going to work? Moshe didn't work, right? Moshe didn't work? Give a cook. Look what's going to happen over here. You can't garnish. You want to say you couldn't serve Avodah Zarah because it's so wet? You'll have plenty of time to serve Avodah Zarah now because it'll be very dry. Okay. It says, Vayidavar Hashem Elav Leimar, Lech Mizeh, Upanisa Lecha Kedma. Go to the east. In other words, he now has to hide. Eliyahu has to hide because Achav knows that the drought is the result of his actions. So he tells him, go hide, go to the east and hide. Then you start the Benachal Chris. In this place, you'll hide in that place. For Orvim and the ravens, Meviim loy lechem, they'll bring you bread, basar and meat, but right, a boiker. Now the question is where they bring it from. Mehecha, mehechen, Rav Yehuda, Rav, they tivche the Achav, because of the tabachim of Achav. They brought it from his kitchen. There's always a shiloh, guys. How could Eliyahu have eaten it? It's basar shenasalim and ayin. Right? You're not allowed to eat meat that hasn't been under the careful watch of a Jew. So it's first of all, it's a din d'Rabbanan. Second of all, if Hashem's going to send you meat, He's going to send you McDonald's. I don't think so. If Hashem is sending you meat, He's selling you badats. You're getting mahadrim and mahadrim, Beis Yosef. So therefore, Eliyahu is being supplied with these ravens, and he has a nachal, he has a creek over there. It says Vayi miketz yamim, vayivash hanachal, and the creek it dried up. Kiloya haya geshem varetz, it dried up because there was no what? There was no water in the land. So why? As a result, no water in the land, the creek dried up. And now you have a problem. What is Eliyahu going to do? So keeping the chazi, the ikat sar ba'alma, since he saw that this HaKadosh Baruch Hu is being with Tsar, the world, ksiv vayidavar Hashem love lemar kum lech tzarafta. Go to Tzarfat. Tzarafta, go to Tzarfat. You can go to Tzarfat and be there. Ksiv vayachad v'ram eile chola ben isha balas abayis. So the isha Sephartis is being very nice to him, and her son is dying. As a matter of fact, he's dead. And Eliyahu wants to bring him back to life. Boy, rachmi lemesan le aklida the tchias amesim. So he wanted the second set of keys. He had already the keys to what? To the rain. He wanted the keys to tchias amesim to bring this kid back. So Amalei told Eliyahu from Shemayim, Shalos Mavteches, all three can't be by one person. Shal Chaya of life, Shal Geshamim of rain, tchias amesim. So Yomru Shtayim Biyad Talmud V'Echad Miyad Harav. Guys, you already have rain, Eliyahu. If I give you to Tchias HaMesim, you're going to have those two, and I'm going to have one Chaya. How could it be that the Rebbe only has one key and the Talmud has two keys? So what happened? Isolate high v'shagol high. Make a trade. We'll barter. You give us the key to what? To the rain, and we'll give you the key to Tchias HaMesim. So that's exactly what happened. Tichsev leich heroy el Achav. Ve'edna matar. Go tell Achav that what is going to be matar, because again, you can't stop it anymore. Darshu Galiloi, Kamei Rav Chisda, the certain Galilean said in front of Rav Chisda. Mashal the Eliyahu who's that Shemayim was Oitzra al Yadai, and it didn't open up until what he showed Achav. And so it says, Leich Here el Achav ve'etna matar. It doesn't say, I'll give you matar, ve'etna. Lemah Davadaima, Legavra de Tarik Legale, Va'avde Lemav Teche. A person who closes the gate and he loses the key, right? A person goes to the gate and he loses the key. And Eliyahu went ahead. He closed the gate. And in the end, he lost the key because he had to give it back. Okay. Darshav Yossi B'tzipure. Ab Eliyahu. Our Eliyahu, Rashi says, Chavil v'gedali, Amid Beis. Big smile breaks across everyone's face. Eliyahu Chavivi v'geladi, Captain Have. He was a captain. He was an angry guy, right? Rugel Lemesi Gabei, right? Rugel Lemesi Gabei. He used to come Legabei. He used to come to who? The yeshiva of Rabbi Yossi. Now, Darius Rabbi Yossi B'tzipuri, that Eliyahu was a captain. Where do you see he was a captain? That he got angry at the words of Achav. Achav went ahead and said, right? Oh, I'll show you. So therefore we say he's an angry guy. That's what Rabbi Yossi said. Says the Gemara, have a rogel amesi gabei. It used to be that Eliyahu would come to Rabbi Yossi all the time. How ichsimine till Siyomi didn't come for 3 days because Eliyahu was upset at him for calling him a captain. For Kiyasa, when Eliyahu finally came after 3 days, Amalei, Rabbi Yossi said to him, Amayla Yosamar, why don't you come? Amalei, Captain Karasali, you call me a captain, I should come. Amalei said, Yosi, the Kamon the Kokopid Mar. You see you're a captain because you're angry that you couldn't come for 3 days. He couldn't win Eliyahu, right? I'm calling you a captain because you swore Baracha, right? With the keys. Now you didn't come for 3 days. You finally show up and you say, why didn't you tell me to come? Is it because I'm a captain? Because that's good for the proof that you're a captain. Okay, the rest of the Gemara is really, really easy. I'll leave it over. Again, I'll leave it over. I could really say it. You make your own siyum, guys. I'll say it. I will make a hadron, and you'll make your own siyum. But let's finish the Gemara. Says the Gemara. It says by the early dachas nothing should be left to you by the hands of the cherem. Okay, Laman Yoshev Hashem Micharina Apoy. That Hashem should go ahead and shouldn't be angry anymore. Says the Gemara, calls Masha Rishayim Ba'olam. As long as they're Rishayim in the world, Charinaf Ba'olam. There's anger in the world. Man Rishayim. Who's Rishayim? Rav Yosef is Ganvei. Rishayim that we said is Ganovim. They steal from the cherem of their nidachas, right? And therefore, that's the connection. Tan Rabbanan, Rasha Bala Olam, Chorein Bala Olam. Shnamar, Bevoy Rasha Ba Gam Buz, Vim Koloin Cherpa, Rasha Avad Min Olam, Taiva Bala Olam. Shnamar, Uba Ovid Rishayim Rina. The death of Rishayim is a source of Rina. Tzaddik Nifta Min Olam, a Tzaddik leaves the world. Ra Bala Olam, Ra comes to the world. Shneimar had Tzaddik Ovid, Veinish Sam Alev, Anshe Chesed Nesafim, Bein Mevi Kimifnei Hara. So if I remember correctly, let's go through it because I So it says that Russia is lost from this world because they're partying, they're having a good time. So therefore it's lost from them. But Avat Tzadikim Chayim Boilam Hazeh, Chayim Tsar, Ukashein Mesim Peturim Min Tsar. And when they die, they're potter from that tsar. L'kach noket loshin potter. Tzaddik nifter min ha'olam. So loshin of tzaddik is nifter from this world. He's potter now from that tsar that he has in the world. Whatever, it's a big nechama. I wouldn't tell it to someone, he's potter from the tsar, but it goes ahead. It could be used in proper context if you're a chacham. It's a very nice shot in the loshin of the Gemara. So let's see. There's the loshin of the Nachamo. Russia of Admina Olam, since the Russia is having a good time, but Tavim Olam, it's good. The world's good. Shnamar ba'avid Rishayim Rina, it's good when he's lost. Tzaddik nifta min ha'olam ra ba'olam. Shnamar tzaddik ovad ve'inish sam alev v'anshe chesed nesafim be'ein mevin ki mifnei hara. Right before the ra comes, nesav tzaddik is taken up. Tzaddik ba'olam tava ba'olam. Shnamar zei nachamenu masenu u'mitzvah yadenu. It says by Noach, when Noach was born, fellas, that his father said, this one will go ahead and comfort us from Ma'aseh Yadenu Mitzvah Yadenu, that they were able to plant. That said that Adam was punished with Itzim Tachlen, Itzav and Tachlena. So this was the Keves Hashem, Mazel Tov.